California has some fairly broad and anti-deficiency statutes that limit a lender's ability to enforce its deed of trust. One example is the lender is subject to a security first rule, which means a lender must exhaust its security by way of a judicial foreclosure sale or non-judicial foreclosure sale before it can take any other action against the borrower, such as suing the borrower on the loan agreement. Lenders need to be cognizant of this and follow this security first rule, because if they fail to do so, they raise the argument that they've essentially released their security interest or extinguished their own lien. Another example is if a lender pursues non-judicial foreclosure sale, which is typical in California. Lender is precluded from going after the borrower for the deficiency balance owed once the foreclosure sale is done. This also applies to purchase money transactions as well as short sale transactions. Now, there's an underlying exception to some of these rules for sold out juniors. These are junior lien holders that lose their security interest. It's wiped out by way of a senior liens foreclosure sale. In those instances, since the junior lien didn't lose its security by any act of its own, it is entitled to go after the borrower personally, such as through a breach of contract claim. The issues we see often are when the lender who owns the second loan is also the servicer of the first loan. And the argument we get from the plaintiff's bar is that since this same entity serviced the first loan, had some control over the foreclosure proceedings, it essentially wiped out its own second lien and therefore can't use the sold out junior protections. We have arguments to respond to this, but it's a gray area of law. It's not well settled. And so lenders and servicers need to have policies and procedures in place to make sure that if they're in an instance where they're servicing their first loan that's being foreclosed, they can make sure they don't own a junior lien on the property, and then use that information to move forward accordingly.